G'day guys, thanks for joining us again for another episode of our Z31 project car. This week I've got a lot to do. I'm going to start with our fuel system. I'm just going over it all now, spanner checking and paint marking everything before I put some fuel in it and try and get a bit of pressure in the system for a leak test. And then later on this week we've got Mario from Ampt Automotive coming in. He's going to wire up our Haltech Elite, and hopefully by the end of this week we can hear our VG30 fire into life. So all things going to plan. It'll be a fun week. So everything's just mocked up at the moment. I've got a few things left to do, the rollover vent being one, but the general gist of it is we've got a Raceworks fuel cell. I think it's a 54 or 57 litre. I can't remember the exact number. Someone in the comments will know. We've got our surge tank here with our twin Raceworks 250 litre per hour pumps. We've got a Holly lift pump up the back here. We do have a little billet fuel filter. It's kind of buried, so you definitely can't see it, but it's up there. And then we go to hardline. We've used the black anodized hardlines because we are going to be running E85 in this. These are extremely corrosion resistant, and I'm a big fan of the way hardlines look. Obviously, we've got that just P-clamped at the moment, all the way up here, and then it heads up under our booster to our GFB fuel pressure regulator, and then out to our rail and our 1000cc injectors. There's nothing left that resembles the standard fuel system in this car. Because we have created so many new fuel lines, there are so many new connections and joins in the system, obviously the first thing you want to do before you do anything else is check that it is fuel tight, check that you don't have any leaks. It's imperative. Ask anybody that works with me. I'm absolutely religious, borderline anal, about checking things like that with a paint marker and marking them. So we've gone from the end of the system to the beginning of the system, fitting by fitting, and spanner checked and marked every single one. So we're pretty confident there's not going to be any leaks. We've used Raceworks fittings, so it's certainly not going to be a fitting issue. If we have any leaks, it's going to be an installation error. So if we have any leaks, I'll wear that. All right, so I've got our jumper cables connected to our lift pump here, and I've got two wires here to one of our Raceworks 250 litre per hour pumps. You'll have to excuse the dodgy wiring I've got going on here. Obviously, it's purely for this test. Our auto electrician is coming in this weekend. We're gonna wire in our Haltech Elite over the weekend, and I want to ensure that his part of this job goes smoothly. So all I want to do is ensure a leak-free fuel system when he turns on the power for the first time. So I'm gonna start with the lift pump and then the supply pump. We'll dial some fuel pressure in on the reg and then check for some leaks. Let's do it. So positive first, no sparks. There you go. You can hear our lift pump. And now the big Raceworks fuel pump.
No leaks.
All right, so we've got fuel pressure. Let's put it up on the hoist and just go over the system once more, make sure there's no wet feeling on any of the joins or any visual indication of leak. You got to be happy with that. No leaks straight off the bat. So I'm in the midst of installing a couple of safety devices in our 300ZX. At the moment, I've just finished up installing our Raceworks isolator switch and remote pull cable. One important thing to consider when you are mounting safety devices like your isolator switch, or for that matter, a fire extinguisher or a fire extinguisher system, is you want it to be able to be reached easily when you're strapped into your seat. So it's all well and good putting it in a spot that looks cool, be it on top of your dashboard or what have you, but if you can't reach it when you're strapped in that event where you have an accident and you need to isolate your car, you're going to wish you'd put it closer. So consider that and make sure you put it somewhere you can get to it. So in our Z, we've put it in the center of the dash here, real easy to reach. As you can see, I've made a pedestal for our pull cable so that it pulls square. It only has to pull at about 10 mil before the spring that's in the switch takes over. As you'll see, just takes a flick and off it goes. Out here, we've got the end of our Raceworks pull cable. They do a couple of different lengths of this. Motorsport Australia's rules mandate that they want it as close to or on the driver's A pillar in front of the windscreen. There are caveats to that, be it a centrally mounted driver's position or a single-seater car. But in a tin top car like this, a production car, You want it on the driver's side of the vehicle because that's the side the rescuers are going to be going to. When the cars stick it up, we will have the mandatory blue triangle with the red lightning bolt in it to indicate easily where our cable is located. So as you'll see, it's quite easy to pull and the car will be isolated now, real easy. All right, it's Friday afternoon here at Sparesbox and we've got Mario and Josh here from Ampt. They're going to be wiring our Haltech into our Z31 project car. So the guys are going to be getting into it shortly. I'm pretty excited to see how it all turns out. You guys would have seen Mario's working out our 200.
200, done pretty much all your builds now.
Yeah, the Prado, you did the Prado for us as well.
Yeah.
And you do quite a bit on Sam's piece of crap, don't you?
Yeah, he's bucket.
Yeah, but the only good thing about that car is the wiring.
Basically, everything goes on there.
So yeah, I'll let the guys get into it and we'll see you guys shortly with an update. The alternator, yes. The starter motor, I've used the factory wires from the factory car and it actually cranks off the key.
And everything works. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So someone had done this conversion, they tried to map out how to convert this.
Crossover.
Yeah, all we want is to get it running and be able to stick it on a dyno and change the map, and I'll be stoked with that. Yeah.
But I think, yeah, the main concern will be get everything working and then make everything look nice.
Alright guys, so touching base again. Last we spoke, we were about to crack on with the wiring on our Z31. It's about 3 AM here. It's finished. It'll start up. Everything works. We're in a residential area, so there's no one here to piss off. So we'll let you hear it for a couple of seconds. Obviously there's a lot of things missing, so we're not going to run it for very long. Alright. There you go. Aggressive. Bloody loud. Sweet.